of those things. So like, if there's something that I'm saying that your doctor is saying for you to do something else, do not hold me liable, okay?
Mary told me to.
I know, Mary told me to. So, but what I have learned, and I've learned a few things, because I've been doing ferals for 17 years.
Dang.
So my first 10-week session was after I had my oldest son, who turned 17 in March, and I did the summer session. So that was 17 years ago, you guys. Like, that was a super long time ago. And so into that nutrition facet of my life, Josh and I used to do, you know, a bunch of the recommended stuff, the low fat, the like all the kinds of things, and you know, we had good results for the most part. But what really got us was we did a ketogenic diet. Now, I'm not here to go through a ketogenic diet with you guys today, because that's not what Ferals, you know, promotes. But what I will say is there is a way to cut out a little bit more of the crap if you're not seeing the results that you want. So, and I guess I just can't stress enough that, and I don't think that sometimes the program stresses enough. You might have to edit this, I don't know.
It's gonna be pure 100%.
But actually, like, and we have it on the screens, we see it, you can't out exercise your diet, and there's honestly, like, there's nothing more true than that. My brother-in-law is like a triathlete, and you can tell when he's eating well and you can tell when he's not, and he's burning thousands of calories when he's training every day. So you can't outwork it. You can't. And so I was one of those people who always tried to do that as well. Like, just get in an extra workout, just, you know, burn some extra calories, go for an extra walk, and, you know, then I can eat what I want. Well, especially as I've gotten older and more mature, it doesn't work. It doesn't. And especially for us women, our metabolism just is a lot harder to jumpstart. Men don't quite have it as difficult as us, but you know, their hormone chemistry is just different. And so as infuriating as it is for us ladies, that's biology. That's what it is. So anyway, so I feel, yeah. So obviously for Ferals, they do the 6 meals a day. They're doing the palm of protein, the fist of carbs, and a crap ton of water, at least 8 glasses. So with your protein, and they do it that way for a reason, because obviously my palm is smaller than Joe's palm, right? So he's gonna be able to eat more protein than I am, okay? And that's got everything to do with gender or biological sex, physical activity, and all that kind of stuff.
Is it the size
even
or the
appetite.
thickness too?
What's that?
Is it the size or the thickness? Or both.
So if you, and it's hard to measure a palm, right? But if you were to cut your fingers and your thumb off, and you were to look at the approximate thickness of your hand and about how big it is, that's gonna be the size of your protein. So I've always said that my portion is about 4 to 5 ounces of protein. So Joe's is probably closer to 8, maybe 9. I haven't measured his hand. So, but you know, it's gonna be different. Yeah. So you can go from anywhere to getting 6 to, you know, 21 grams of protein in a given day, depending on your size and all that other kind of stuff, you know. And I know that there's been a really big push for protein lately. You know, it seems like nutrition information is always changing. So I guess the point of today is to scale it back, make it a little bit simpler. And I do want to line up kind of with the Ferals program, because, you know, obviously that's what we're doing. So the first thing that I would say, and you know, you get one free, one cheat day, you know. And I know that that sometimes spills over more often than not. But I will tell you, from personal experience, which is not easy, I'm busy just like all of you. Like, I'm married, I have 3 kids that are constantly going, so I get I don't have time. I got pulled over for speeding on the way here. Okay, like literally, I never have time. So, oh yeah, and as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. So, I get the time thing, 100%. But I have actually been trying to actually scale it back even more to 1 cheat meal instead of an entire day. Which makes a huge difference, actually. When the first time I did the program, I would go Sunday through Friday, and I would just be like spot on. And then Saturday would come, and it was like, boom, out the window. Like, you know, you're running to McDonald's, and granted this was 17 years ago, but, you know, getting the breakfast sandwiches and the hash browns and, you know, Starbucks for coffee and, you know, whatever. And you're like, all right, I'm back on the train tomorrow, you know, but, so a lot of the nutrition has to do more with mindset, unfortunately, and it's behavior modification, which people don't talk about enough. I know everybody talks about meal prepping to death. However, it is so crucial, especially since we're so busy. The other thing is your family. And so my nutrition background right now is I actually do clinical trials at the University of Iowa for patients with MS. So I know how hard diet is. I talk to people every day about how hard diet is. It is the hardest thing. This is way easier than showing up and kicking a bag for 45 minutes, right? Because this is all the time. So nutrition is the hardest thing that we have to work on, and because it's constant, right? And so it starts with changing behaviors. So with that being said, meal prep, super important, and fruits and vegetables, super important. That's where we get the majority of our nutrients. So, do you guys like fruits and vegetables? Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody does? Okay, so you've already overcome like one of the first obstacles, right? Now, how about your kids? How about your family?
My boys love fruits, and certain ones like certain vegetables.
Okay.
Like I have one that will eat like peas and carrots, no big deal, and the other one, like, it's like poison to him. So it's like a give and take.
Okay, so I've learned over the past, 8 years doing clinical trials is your family is your most important part of implementing a good diet. You can't sustain and feasibly do it by yourself. Like, you can't. So you have to get your people on board, and many of them, particularly children, are very resistant. So I'm not going to tell any of you how to parent your children. However, I will tell you that I am the mean mom that is like, this is what's for dinner. Well, can I make? Nope, this is what's for dinner. I'm not a short order cook. You know what I mean? And both mom and dad have to be on board with that, and they have to implement that, and then the kids start to learn that as well. Because our family is such an important part of our lives that we have to have everybody on board. Rule number 1 is I don't buy crap and bring it into my house. I don't do it because I'm gonna eat it if it's there. If I have one of those situations, it's a very small portion of something, it's a special treat, it's something that's not going to last more than a day, so that I can't keep going back to it. So that's always like a huge one for me when we do that. So we can kind of go about this in several different ways. So what, do you guys have questions about nutrition or like how to make things easier? Or, cause I don't wanna sit here and like give a lecture if there's like, hey, I have questions, but I'm gonna just like sit here and listen, cause I can talk for hours, like, I can. So, I guess what do you guys wanna learn? Cause I could say many things, but I don't know what you guys are looking for or would like.
I think for me, it's more understanding like the amounts, like the values of things, to know like, okay, protein, this is how much protein I should be eating and getting in my body. This is how many calories I should be working towards to, don't go over this, don't, over consume that, like, do you take in consideration that you do a 45-minute workout every day and you burn 700 calories? Do you count those calories back into your diet then? Like what little things like that manipulate like your eating habits beyond just, I'm gonna eat my carrots and I'm gonna eat my protein, but how much of that can I overextend if I'm doing this, this, and that?
I think a lot of it depends on your goals. So it depends on if you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to maintain, if you're looking to build muscle, if you're looking, you know what I mean? Like everybody's goals are different, okay?
Right.
So for the longest time, I did a hard 75 at the beginning of the year. I wanted to lose 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, you don't have to lose 10 pounds. And I'm like, I see 10 pounds on me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't lose 10 pounds. I didn't drink for 75 days. I worked out 2 days a week religiously. I stuck to my eating plan. I did all of the things. I drank the gallon of water a day and it was excruciating sometimes.
Right.
But I did all of the things and I think I lost 3 pounds. In 75 freaking days, you guys.
Right.
Like, I went to state wrestling, didn't cheat.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Everybody's like, tipping them back and having a good time, and I didn't. And I lost 3 pounds, and I was like so frustrated. And this was just a few months ago, right? And I just had to realign my goals. Okay, I clearly gained more muscle. Because not only was I doing this, I was doing other things, because I was doing 2 workouts a day minimally. Okay, so and I did. I gained a lot of muscle, and so like I just had to change my goal and change my mindset, which is not an easy thing to do. So, which sounds kind of like a cop out for an answer, but because
I get what you're
nobody's the
saying.
same. And it really depends on what your goals are. So like some people, like if you have people that are having comorbidities like heart disease, morbid obesity, like all that kind of stuff, their goals are going to be significantly different than the goals in this room, okay? Because nobody, I don't know about medical history, but I can tell you like none of you are in that category that I just described, right? So that's what, if you're looking for lean muscle, if you're looking for toning, if you're looking for maintenance, those are going to be different goals. So as far as what you asked, calories, I don't even look at calories in and calories out anymore. I don't even look at it because it's too hard. And I tend to think like if I wear my MyZone and I wear my Fitbit, the calories are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So then which one am I going off of? Do I just split the two and take an average? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to take that and just get rid of it. I eat when I'm hungry and I stop eating when I'm full.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really hard for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest way to do that and stay on track, there's 2 things. One, which is really hard for a lot of people, and but it's very easy for me, and it's excruciating for my husband. I eat slow because my body tells me I'm full, and it tells my mind, and then I'm able to stop. Okay? A lot of times we eat so fast that the fullness doesn't catch up to our brain to signal us to stop eating in time. And so that's essentially why we overeat many times. The other reason why we overeat is because we're dehydrated. 9 times out of 10, if you are hungry, you are actually thirsty. So if you're looking at the clock and you're like, God, I just ate not that long ago, I shouldn't be this hungry, go drink a cup of water, 8 ounces of water. Wait 15 minutes and see if you're still hungry. It makes a huge difference. So that's what I would suggest. And I don't know if you do this 6 meals a day. A lot of people will say, Mary, I can't even get in 6 meals a day. Fine, then cut the ones off at the end of the day. So sometimes you can't, like sometimes that's just, your schedule won't allow for it, right? Depending on what you guys do for a living. I know what you do, but like, you know, you could be driving and having a snack or whatever, but it's not like you can eat if you're fixing something in somebody's house. So, and that's just gonna depend on how big the job is or how long it's gonna take, right? So you have to kind of plan for that kind of stuff, and you know, stuff happens, so it might take longer than you originally thought. You're like, well, there went my 3rd snack today or whatever, you know. So, I mean, you have to plan, but life happens. So you got to give yourself a little bit of grace, but you also have to be persistent, is what I always say. What else? Like, you know, for the 6 meals, or excuse me, for the calorie, or I don't look at how much I work out versus what I'm consuming. I've tried to eliminate that, and I really just try to listen to my body as to whether or not I'm hungry. Yeah. I think because if you listen to your body, you really can't go wrong. I mean, if you think about it, our body is pretty incredible, all of the things that it can and does do for us every day, and we don't take very good care of it, myself included. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? So, but it will tell you. It'll tell you what you need, essentially. So, what else?
I know as I started to begin the program a couple of years ago, my biggest overhaul of my mindset was that breakfast, lunch, and dinner are sit down, big meals. They're your core of your day, and then the other 3 were snacks. So then my meals were inconsistent in size. Is it important, do you think, to keep the consistency in size of meals, and then overcoming that mindset of, you know, meat, potatoes, and vegetables in the afternoon as sitting down as a family, and how do you overcome that, given also that a lot of people are not home for dinner with their kids anymore because everybody's running and doing stuff?
Yeah. I would probably say breakfast is probably you're gonna want that to be kind of more of your biggest meal, I would think, because that's going to try to sustain you throughout the day. Now, I usually don't have breakfast until at least 10:30 in the morning. But I try and limit my eating window as well. And that's not a part of this, but it can be helpful. So breakfast, I always usually try and do a good amount of protein, a good amount of fat, and a limited amount of carbs.
Okay, so when you say that, like, what are you eating?
Yeah.
I am eating, okay, so usually I will have 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, avocado, and for my carbs, sometimes I'll do like a little bit of a sweet potato, like diced and cubed, that I'll just fry up in the bacon grease, which is freaking delicious. Stuff like that. Sometimes I won't even put a carb in there. Sometimes I don't even need it. So I am more scared of sugar than I am of fat. Fat's gotten a really bad rap for the past 70 years. Your brain needs fat in order to function. And I was telling Carrie this, like, the second you see something that's low or no fat, they've taken the good stuff out and they've thrown sugar in, guaranteed. So, so I have the label, but I have another one on here that I actually like a little bit better, only because And I'll show you, hopefully. Go back. Because it shows added sugars. So, obviously, fruits and vegetables, fruits more so than vegetables, but,
I was just excited I got to laminate the sign.
and it's good. It is good. Because it does actually highlight, so I always look at serving sizes. It's never what you think it's gonna be.
Right. Always different.
Right? You're like, that's 2.5 servings for that? You're like, what? I can't just eat, you know.
Bite.
Yeah. And then you have your total fat, and then you have your saturated fat and your trans fat, okay? As far as fat goes, you're gonna really wanna stay away from the trans fat. All right, so do you guys know the difference between fats and stuff like that? Okay, so saturated fat, those are like your animal fats. Those are the kinds of fats, your healthier fats. Like I said, saturated fat got a really bad rap for a long time, particularly from the American Heart Association. Don't get me started on that. But saturated fat is the kind of fat that will solidify or congeal. So bacon fat, lard, tallow, coconut oil, avocado oil, those kinds. Those are actually your healthy fats. Those feed your brain. I promise you. Trans fat, man-made fats. Okay? Your hydrogenated oils, your polymonohydrogenated BS fats. Okay, your canola oil, your corn oil, your soybean oil, your vegetable oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. It's probably been stripped and processed so much, it's probably, most of the seed oils are actually not good. Why are they not good? If you heat them up, the kinds of bonds that they have break down and you get oxidation, which causes free radicals and cancer forming cells in your body. Okay, you actually want the saturated fats, the good fats. Olive oil is a really, really great healthy fat. You can cook with it at low heat, but it will break down and it will burn. So I don't cook with olive oil that much, and if I do, it's on a very low heat. I usually drizzle it on afterwards. I cook almost exclusively with coconut oil or animal fat. Bacon grease. I love bacon grease.
Okay, so like when I make asparagus and put olive oil and like salt and pepper on it for the kids, I'll stick it in the oven at 325. I should put on my olive oil after?
I would.
Okay. Or broccoli or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can actually get a liquid form of coconut oil. And that's usually like if I need a little bit, but I'm a super huge fan of butter too. Or ghee is really, really awesome. Ghee is basically butter with the dairy part taken out, and it doesn't burn as nearly as quickly as like a regular stick of butter. It's more expensive, but you can also get it at Aldi's and it's not terrible. So I cook with that a lot. Carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are not all bad. Josh and I did a ketogenic diet for years and we had tremendous success. However, it's very hard to sustain, so that's not necessarily what I'm preaching. And then you have your sugars, okay? So your sugars, if you're eating fruit, and even some vegetables, there's going to be natural sugars in those, okay? Especially like your white fruits, like apples, bananas, those kinds of things. But if you look, and here's where it changes a little bit. So here you've got your carbs, your dietary fiber. If you're gonna do any kind of mathing, I always usually take the number of grams of fiber and I subtract that from my total carbohydrates, and that's gonna be, because the fiber kind of cancels your carbs out a little bit, they kind of eat them up. All right, what you really wanna look for is your added sugars. If you're looking at a label, that's what you want to be 0. That's the biggest thing, honestly. And if you look at so many labels nowadays that's supposed to be healthy or that is fat-free, added sugar, you'll find it, guaranteed.
Is it usually like a small percent, like a 1 to 2% kind of thing, or is it?
Depends on the food.
Yeah.
So let's say fat-free milk, like skim milk. I grew up on skim milk.
Yeah.
We never had 2%. In fact, I couldn't drink it. I thought it tasted gross because I was so used to drinking like white water. But if you look at skim milk, it has, I think, 4 to 8 grams of added sugar in it. Now that could have changed. It's been years since I've bought milk, skim milk. But next time you're in the store, just out of curiosity, take a look, 0 fat, and see how much added sugar is in it. I guarantee there's some in there.
I feel that. That's what I drink, is skim milk.
Yeah.
I add it to my protein shake.
Yeah. So you're actually better off doing like a nut milk.
I did hear that just recently, like to not even use, or even to use like a coconut milk or something like that.
Coconut or almond milk are awesome in protein shakes.
Yeah.
Protein powder is the other thing that we get, we have a lot of problems with. And here's the other thing, artificial sweeteners. That will fudge up your metabolism like no other. And they're everywhere. You have to read every single label. Anytime you get a label out, the less ingredients that's in it, the better. If it says modified in any of the ingredients, stay clear. If it says it's been modified, don't do it.
So what's like a good protein bar, a good protein powder?
Okay, so
Or what
Is
do
it
you,
a
what do you
brand
suggest,
thing,
or what
or
do
is
you?
it like
I suggest staying away from protein bars altogether unless you're gonna make your own,
Okay.
honestly. I have not found a protein bar that I'm comfortable eating. Protein powder, you can go a couple of different ways. So I've actually, especially for women, but it's applicable to men as well, I do collagen peptides now for my protein. So that's what I put in my smoothies and that's what I put in my coffee. I just get an unflavored. You can find plenty of different ones, but I don't get like protein powder anymore, like the whey protein. Mostly because a lot of the patients that I work with, don't do eggs, gluten, or dairy, which is super hard, and I'm not, that's not what I'm suggesting. But a lot of those people have really high inflammatory responses. Now, if you have food allergies, those are the first 3 things to cut out and see if you feel better. But that's a completely different topic. Protein powders usually have artificial sweeteners in them. Almost, I would say 99.9% of them do. I have found a handful that do not. It's getting better that they're sweetened with either stevia or monk fruit. But almost always they have aspartame, acetamulfate, or sucralose in it. All 3 of those will kill your metabolism. Guaranteed.
like, what do you mean they kill your metabolism?
I mean, they cause side effects that you don't normally see. You don't absorb nutrients properly. And they're just, overall, they're just really not good for your body. They trick your brain. So they've got what are called exocytosins or something like that. Because, so for instance, if you've ever had like sucralose or something like that, it's sweeter than sugar. You've heard that, right? Like if you're gonna do a recipe or something, it's sweeter than sugar, and it's like, it makes your brain like fire. And it's not good the way that it does it. And so when it does that to your brain, nutrients aren't being absorbed properly, and your body is just like, it's not good. I mean, there's several, and they've attributed it to like inflammatory responses, you know, you have too much of, what was it, like Sweet and Low or whatever, and, you know, the rats were getting cancer. Like, they're seeing more and more and more of that. Like, they used to say, well, you'd have to eat like a ton of it. Well, think about how much of it is in all of the different products, add it all up, daily basis, like, not good, right? So, yeah. So I have tried with all my might to cut out all artificial sweeteners. I don't let my kids have them either, which is really hard, especially for drinks. Drinks are probably the hardest thing. I'm very fortunate. My oldest kid doesn't like pop at all. Like, he doesn't like it. He would rather have like Minute Maid lemonade, which is full of high fructose corn syrup. But we also make lemonade at home, which is super easy if you just buy lemon juice, water, and Swerve or stevia. And we make it at home all the time. And then we mix electrolytes in it, and then they have a flavored lemonade, and they really like it. That's another thing. Like, electrolytes are huge. Water's great. You want to be hydrated, but you actually need salt. Good salt, not iodized Morton like salt. You want like the sea salt, the Himalayan sea salt, all that kind of stuff that actually has the sea's nutrients in it. Stuff like that. So I always say to just sugar's the biggest thing to get rid of.
So,
and
like,
it's the hardest.
So when your kids are like out competing and like, okay, so what do you do? Do you let your kids drink Gatorade, or what's your
No.
alternative? What do you,
I get them
What-
vitamin water,
vitamin water?
Mhm.
Okay.
and I get the 0
The zero.
calorie.
Okay.
It's sweetened with stevia.
Okay.
It doesn't have artificial sweeteners in it. Like, they like the Prime, and they like, you know, a bunch of this stuff. Like, and I could theoretically, if you wanted, I could get you a list of protein powders that I use, drinks that I drink that I've already done the research for, and, you know, like a handful of other things. But yeah, that's, so so for instance, Aiden, my oldest, he's a wrestler, okay? Freshman year, he had to cut a lot of weight, and it was, as a mother, it was very hard to watch. And he did decent, but he could have done a lot better. And there was a couple of times he threw up because he was being dumb, and he'd go and weigh in, and then he'd gorge himself because he was starving, right? So we don't want that. So we actually send him to a nutritionist because he won't listen to me. Weird, I know. And lo and behold, the boy feels better. So, but I have done a lot of research on drinks. So like when we pack a cooler, for instance, for a Taekwondo tournament, okay? Both of my younger ones are Taekwondo. We get string cheese, full fat string
Just
cheese.
I was gonna say, low
Because
fat
I get
or-
the light now.
I don't get the light. Personally, check the label, see if
Okay.
there's added sugar. Especially growing bodies. Growing bodies need fat.
What's
You're-
for me? It's not a problem.
You're not going to get fat from eating fat. You're going to get fat from eating sugar. I promise you.
So full fat sour cream and full fat,
That's what I mean,
not light.
yeah. Unless you have like a serious heart condition, I would still say cut the sugar and don't do, partial fat. Again, like, not a doctor, but the sugar is way worse for you. Here, I'll show you something else. But, okay, cooler. We usually get a 6-pack of vitamin water. So my kids like the lemonade and the orange. And then there's actually a strawberry lemonade that's 0 calories, sweet with stevia, and it's delicious. So that's what we get. I do sparkling water, not sweetened. So I do bubbly, I do Waterloo water. I'm not a huge fan of LaCroix. I used to drink that before the better ones came out, but Waterloo Water and Bubbly are my go-tos. Like, I'll drink that instead of pop any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
What about this? The Crystal Light or Crystal Ice or something? They're bad?
It's got
Sparkling.
it's got artificial sweeteners in it.
Okay.
Aspartame or acetylfoam, whatever it is. Let's see, will you open? So protein powders, the collagen peptides that I have are grass-fed, grass-finished. Now, a lot of people will think organic and all that kind of stuff is a bunch of nonsense. But you'd be surprised at the crap that they put in the food. So pesticides, all that kind of stuff. All right, so this is one of the things that we tell our patients. It says, why remove sugar? Okay, so basically it causes your brain to get addicted like cocaine or heroin. And this is from a clinical trial. This is not BS. I showed my kid that, my youngest, and he was like, whoa. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so what else do you pack in your cooler? You got vitamin water and string cheese, because this is my life sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Packing a lot of coolers. No, I'm like,
We do a lot of, gosh, I'm trying to think now, and I knew that this was gonna be a question. We do a lot of, I will get like as natural of a lunch meat as I can find, and we actually wrap it around the string cheese. So like a pickle roll, but not, right? So you just put the meat down and roll the string cheese in it, and they'll eat it that way. I do get them popcorn, but the popcorn that I get, it's called Lesser Evil. It uses coconut oil. It uses Himalayan sea salt. It uses stuff like that they can have. We get carrot sticks. My kids don't like hummus, unfortunately. They will tolerate some almond butter. You could even do, and then we do a lot of, we do fruit. So I do more berries for me, just because they're less sugary and higher in antioxidants. But I will, because my kids are young, they're gonna blow through the carbs faster, they'll have apples and bananas and stuff like that. They love berries though too, except my middle child, but that's, so a lot of times, and you know, a lot of times too, I will even get them those sub sandwiches at Walmart that are pre-made. The bread's probably not the best, but again, their systems are a little less susceptible than ours are. And so they'll have like a sandwich, carrots, celery, almond butter, or whatever. I usually bring hummus with me, and then they have fruit, and then they have cheese and lunch meat, and then they have popcorn for a snack, and I have them drink water, but then we bring electrolyte sticks with us, and we bring vitamin water, so they usually get 2 of those a day throughout the course of the entire day, like maybe one in the like afternoon or late morning, and then one in the evening. But other than that, they have water in between. So that's usually how we pack our coolers. We're pretty like regimented. The kids now know, okay, we need to get this, we need to get this, we need to get this, and we need to get this. So, and it's all things that they like. It's all things that they're okay with, and they've just learned like this is how we travel. So next week we're going on a 12-day vacation. My husband is at home actually making beef sticks right now, because they put a lot of crap in it, and they're expensive. Like if you really want high quality ones, they're very expensive. But I would also recommend high quality food and not crap food. Like, I can't stress that enough. So the beef that the collagen protein that I get is grass-fed, pasture-raised, that kind of stuff. I do a lot of times get organic stuff. And I do that because, and I look at, have you ever heard of the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15? It's basically the cleanest produce and the dirtiest produce. So usually whatever's on the dirty list, I try and get organic. Whatever's on the clean list, if there's a huge price difference, I don't necessarily get the organic or that kind of stuff. I mean, you have to be smart because everything feels like it's expensive nowadays, but I feel like I'm investing in my health now so that I don't have to pay for it later. Particularly with medications or, I mean, I don't have control over everything. I don't know if I'm gonna get cancer in 30 years, but like, hopefully I'm reducing my risk, right? Like, I don't smoke anymore. I work out, I try to limit, the toxins that are in my body, and I've changed a lot of even our environmental cleaning products, personal care products, but that's for a completely different day. Like, like I said, I could talk for hours. So what else do you guys want to know? Did I answer your question? Okay. And I always too, like, I'm not saying that you should go into a ketogenic diet or whatever, but as far as bread, pasta, rice, wraps, all that kind of stuff, I would limit it as much as possible, which I know is really hard. Even if it's whole wheat, like, it still has a high glycemic index. It's gonna spike your insulin and it's gonna cause stuff like that to happen. You become insulin resistant and all sorts of things. So
where do you do most of your shopping at?
I do most of my shopping at Walmart.
Walmart?
Yeah, Aldi's is really good. They have a good organic produce section. You can find grass-fed beef and stuff and free-range chicken at Aldi's too. We've gotten stuff there. I do get the more expensive brown eggs. I don't get the white, like, mainly because the fats are shown to be better in them. Stuff like that. But I mean, I shop at the regular, you'll see me at Walmart probably 6 days a week, like literally, because we're always out of something, no matter how much I try to plan, you know what I mean? You guys have any other questions?
Your body needs carbs, so where are you getting carbs from if you're not eating?
My carbs actually come from my fruits and my
Your fruits,
vegetables.
okay.
Yeah, yep. So you can actually get a lot of carbs from vegetables once you add them up. Your body doesn't need that many carbs though. I mean, it does, don't get me wrong, especially if we're working out, we're doing all that kind of stuff. And there's some carbs in dairy too. So look at it that way. If you want to boost your protein, big fan of cottage cheese. That's like trending right now. You can put cottage cheese in everything, right, Carrie?
Yes, you can.
Veggies in a lot, and the kids know now, but and so they don't get as mad about it anymore. They're just like, but yeah. So any red sauce that we make, I put spinach or kale in there. They'll never taste it. If you chop it fine enough, put it in the food processor, they'll never taste it. They'll never taste it. The tomato masks it 100%. And I put spinach in my eggs too. Not a lot because that will also, it releases a lot of moisture. But you can put like chopped up spinach in your scrambled eggs and you're getting a veggie. Obviously in your smoothies, throw in, I do greens powder too in my smoothies. When I do smoothies are great because you can get so much stuff in there at once, but you have to be careful and look at your sugar content. So for me, I don't do a lot of, most of mine are berry based. And I really hate bananas. I wish I didn't, but I really, really cannot tolerate the taste of bananas. So I swap it out for mango, which is higher in vitamin C and more actually nutritionally dense than bananas, but it has a similar consistency. Or you can even use avocado if you need to like reduce your sugar, because I usually do berries where a lot of people do, strawberry banana and like all that kind of stuff. Well, your carbs are gonna right through, and then if you don't have protein to offset it and some greens in there, you're gonna get hungry right away again. So you have to think about that too. The more fat and protein in the stuff that you're having, you're gonna stay fuller longer. So if you're just having like a smoothie with almost all carbs in it, you're gonna be hungry in an hour again because your insulin spiked and it crashed, and then your body's like, hey, I'm hungry, feed me again, because of that sugar, that sugar spike. So, yeah. I know when we talked last time, we talked about how people buy vegetables and they go bad so fast. One of the things I do with vegetables is greens in particular. I'll get a bag of spinach and I'll get a bag of kale. I don't like the spinach stems. I don't like them. So I pick them all off. And then I put them in like those plastic Ziploc containers, but then I put paper towels on the bottom and in the middle and on the top, and they won't get slimy nearly as fast. Natural Grocers has a brand of greens. You can get all sorts of different kinds. It's called Organic Girl. Usually, because the shelf life of greens are so short, you can get them marked down and then do the paper towel trick, and they'll last as long as if you would have gotten them almost at Walmart, because they're like triple washed. They don't have the pesticides on them, which cause them to wilt and get slimy faster as well. So that's like a really quick hack that I like to do, is I like to go get the Organic Girl greens from Natural Grocer, kind of like they've just been marked down or something like, I mean, you have to look at them like, and then I use them in a sauce and I put them in my smoothie, and then I try and use them as fast as I can. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I still end up throwing more away than I'd like, but they last longer. Same thing with fruit. If you soak them in vinegar or baking soda and then put them in a mason jar, they'll stay.
I just heard that too, putting them in a mason jar.
Yeah, they'll stay fast. They'll stay fresh for a lot longer. So, anything else?
So the vegetables in the bags that you microwave?
Oh, like the steamable?
I'm not gonna lie, I use them. I try not to, but sometimes you gotta. I don't get the ones with the sauce on them,
Right.
because modified cornstarch is gonna be in that sauce, guaranteed. And like I said, anything that says modified, you wanna stay clear from. But like if it's literally just steamed cauliflower, or just steamed broccoli.
Right, corn, stuff like that.
Yeah, I stay away from corn. Corn's kind of carby. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, even the smallest portion is a lot. Like, it's a lot, and it's got a high glycemic index again, so it's going to spike that blood sugar. And a lot of it, corn especially, in our neck of the woods, is genetically
So the
modified.
3 cobs I ate last night were
Is
good
it,
for me.
you can't eat sweet corn?
You can have sweet corn.
But I put butter on it.
I did put butter on it.
Well, you should put butter on it. Actually, fat helps inhibit the glycemic response a little bit.
Okay, my in-laws live on the corner over here. They have a huge patch, and it's non-GMO.
Yes.
It's like all the no pesticides. If you ever need some, it's the corner on Boyce and Burnett.
Yes.
They just So
And
I
then-
feed it to my kids.
Yeah,
for the
and
next
that's
4 weeks.
if you're gonna do corn, that's the best kind to do it, because it's delicious. Like, I don't want to tell people that you can't enjoy your food, but
Right.
you kind of have to navigate differently. And
Well, it's like, you gotta figure out, I'm gonna sacrifice this for the greater good of that,
yes. Well, and it's like sauces
versus like
too.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and like sauces, like I'm looking at labels all the time. Like, what is in this? Rao's is a really good brand for sauces. They have pretty clean ingredients in comparison to like Ragu or Prego. It's more expensive, but it's cleaner. So yeah, honestly, if you can get rid of sugar, artificial sweeteners, and processed food, you will be shocked at what a difference even that would make. Then if you reach a goal and you've stalled and you want to go further, come talk to me and I can help you. But yeah, and unfortunately those processed foods are a lot of breads, pastas, crackers, like the wraps. Don't get me wrong, I'll break out a 0 carb wrap every once in a while and have that. But a lot of times now I just make taco bowls. I don't do the wraps and stuff as much. Like I said, occasionally you just kind of want that, but if you could limit it, I think it'll help overall. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I kind of went off script because I didn't really have like something actually prepared, if you can believe that. I know, I think Carrie had said how to overcome like problems, frustrations, and I think the biggest thing is give yourself some grace, but then be persistent, be vigilant, get back on. What else? Oh, I always say keep healthy snacks on hand in case of an emergency. That's something that we also preach to our patients. So that lesser evil popcorn, you can have that as a backup snack in your car or your vehicle. It's not gonna go bad. I mean, probably. Now you have to get you can't get the like, I don't know. They have a white cheddar one though that I don't think is terrible. But they have like a regular sea salt, Himalayan sea salt one. It's actually ever so slightly sweet. It's not what you would expect, but it's really good. Nuts and seeds, especially if you're in a hurry, like convenience stores and stuff like that, they've got the protein packs now. Utilize them. If you go to a Quick Start, they have fresh fruits and vegetables. Not a ton, but they do have them, which has changed quite a bit. They have cottage cheese there, like you can get that. You can get string cheese. They have hummus at Quick Start as well, where I've been able to get carrots, celery, and hummus at a Quick Start while we've been on the road doing stuff really fast. So you don't have to go immediately to the chip aisle. Like you do have options. I know my kids. I know my kids do. But yeah. So anything else? I don't know.
We'll go to the grocery store now.
Yeah. I learned a lot.
Don't shop
Go look at my
hungry.
own label.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that
Don't
one.
shop hungry. Stay
good.
on the outside of the aisles 90% of the time. I'm sure people have told you that. And it's hard, but honestly, if you want to become more educated about food, look at the labels. Look at what you're consuming.
That's what I'm curious at now. I need to go home and look at all my labels.
My protein powder that I have every morning. I also have collagen peptide in it, but I
Yeah.
do skip a protein powder
Yeah.
every morning. Maybe that's my problem.
I mean, and it's not going to be one quick fix,
Yeah.
right? Like, there are a couple of protein powders out there that are pretty clean. If you're looking for a new one because you're like, oh, this has a bunch of crap in it. Excuse me. In the past, I've used J-Rob, Jayrobb. I know he sweetens his with stevia. He looks kind of shady. He's got like a bandana and he's like a big muscly guy and he's got like glasses on and he looks kind of funny, but his protein powder is pretty legit. And I know that there are some other ones on Amazon, but really look at the labels. And I could even send you like a list of the artificial sweeteners to stay away from if that would be helpful. I think I do have a couple of protein powders that I suggest. I use Live Conscious collagen peptides. They're a little expensive, but I've found them, I think the cheapest. You can get them on Amazon. If you do like a subscribe and save or whatever, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper, not a lot. But at least you can at least try it on Amazon before you commit to anything and then decide if you wanna do it. Electrolytes, I do a lot that are only sweetened with stevia and Himalayan salts. So Ultima is a really good one. Nectar is not as good, but okay. There's an instant hydration, I think Sean, the Olympic gymnast,
Johnson.
Sean Johnson. She's promoting an instant hydration that I'm gonna try because it's Himalayan sea salt and it's stevia. It doesn't have a bunch of crap in it. So I don't know if it's good yet, I'll let you know. Ultima is my favorite and they've got a lot of flavors. And in fact, I made a lot of mocktails with Ultima because